The notion that vaccines and global warming are lies used to oppress Christians is a narrative that has been perpetuated by some groups within the Christian community. This ideology is often rooted in a deep-seated mistrust of scientific evidence and a belief that there is a larger conspiracy at play to undermine Christian values. Proponents of this view argue that vaccines are a tool of population control, designed to weaken the immune systems of Christians and make them more susceptible to government control. They also claim that the concept of global warming is a hoax, created to justify draconian environmental regulations that infringe upon individual freedoms and stifle economic growth. One of the primary concerns among some Christians is that vaccines contain aborted fetal cells, which they believe is a morally reprehensible practice. While it is true that some vaccines have been developed using cell lines derived from aborted fetuses, this does not mean that the vaccines themselves contain aborted fetal cells. The cell lines used in vaccine development are often decades old and have been extensively tested for safety and efficacy. Furthermore, many Christian denominations, including the Catholic Church, have issued statements supporting the use of vaccines, citing the moral imperative to protect human life and prevent suffering. Regarding global warming, some Christians argue that the concept is a myth perpetuated by scientists and politicians to justify radical environmental policies. They point to fluctuations in global temperature records and the existence of natural climate variability as evidence that human activities are not the primary driver of climate change. However, the overwhelming scientific consensus is that human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, are significantly contributing to the increase in global temperatures. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) has concluded that it is extremely likely that human activities are the dominant cause of the observed warming since the mid-20th century. Despite the scientific evidence, some Christians remain skeptical of the concept of global warming, often citing biblical passages that suggest God is in control of the climate and that human activities are powerless to affect it. While it is true that the Bible teaches that God is sovereign over all creation, this does not mean that human actions have no impact on the environment. In fact, the Bible contains numerous passages that emphasize the importance of stewarding the earth and caring for creation. It is also worth noting that the narrative of vaccines and global warming as lies used to oppress Christians is often linked to broader conspiracy theories, such as the idea of a new world order or one world government. These theories often posit that a small group of elite individuals or organizations is working to undermine national sovereignty and impose a totalitarian regime on the world. While these theories can be intriguing and even compelling, they are often based on incomplete or misleading information and can be damaging to individuals and communities. In conclusion, the idea that vaccines and global warming are lies used to oppress Christians is a complex and multifaceted narrative that is rooted in a range of factors, including scientific skepticism, moral concerns, and conspiracy theories. While it is understandable that some Christians may have concerns about the safety and efficacy of vaccines or the validity of climate change, it is essential to approach these issues with a critical and nuanced perspective, recognizing the complexity of the scientific evidence and the diversity of opinions within the Christian community. By engaging in respectful and informed dialogue, Christians can work to build bridges of understanding and promote a more nuanced and compassionate approach to these critical issues. Ultimately, it is essential to recognize that the pursuit of truth and the care of creation are fundamental Christian values that should guide our responses to vaccines and global warming, rather than ideology or conspiracy theories.